Hello everyone, and welcome. It seems for Breath of the Wild 2, Nintendo is giving Zelda fans exactly what they asked for. We have some new confirmed leaks that may give insight into Breath of the Wild 2's story, possible time travel, a returning character, and a new character part of the story may revolve around. Before we get to all of that, I just want to say thank you for clicking on the video. If you're a fan of videos like this, please subscribe to help support the channel and be notified every time we upload new videos on news, leaks, Zelda theories, top 10 lists, our podcast, and more. Similar to the big leak from the Spanish voice actors a while back, we have a similar leak. This time, it happened during an interview with Italian channel 𝗟𝗏. The Italian voice actor for Daruk may have had an accidental slip-up. He confirms he is returning to voice Daruk, but also a new character, being an ancestor of Daruk. Then, 𝗟𝗏 seems to pick up on the slip-up, and asks, "You said you voiced the ancestor of Daruk?" 𝗏𝗏, the voice actor, replied, "Yeah," whose name I don't remember, unfortunately, but it was a bit more serious. During the interview, he also mentions the recordings finished sometime not too long ago, which is interesting. I'll get into how I believe Daruk will appear in Breath of the Wild, who I think the ancestor is, if time travel will be a part of it, and what this all means for the story. But first, this sort of lines up with another leak. In a past video, we reported on a leak we were sent suggesting Breath of the Wild 2's script, which was previously completed, was having changes made to certain parts as well as new scenes being added. Whether the leak was true, we can't really say, but it would match up with the voice actors having finished their voiceovers late last year or early this year, as the Italian voice actor confirms. Hopefully he isn't punished for this and will continue having a relationship with Nintendo. A lot of you are probably aware of us frequently having the voice actors from Breath of the Wild appear on our podcast, but we do our best to stay away from and avoid questions about games or projects that have yet to release, and it's for this specific reason. Sometimes slip-ups happen, and we don't want to be responsible for anyone getting in trouble, especially when it's one of our friendos like Joe or Sean. Now, let's answer some questions you all have sent me on Twitter or Discord. First, who is Daruk's ancestor? I think the easiest answer would simply be the original champion for Vah Rudania. No, I don't think it will have Link traveling back in time over 10,000 years ago when the Divine Beasts were first made and used to defeat Ganon. But I do believe Link or Zelda may unlock memories in some way, or be told about what happened, and we see it played out in cutscenes, similar to the events that happened in the memories of the first Breath of the Wild, or when the King and Impa tell Link what happened. And I think it's kind of obvious that Nintendo is going to have some sort of cutscene, showing what happened 10,100 years ago, with exactly how zombified Ganon was defeated and sealed in the specific area that we see him in the trailer, which most likely would include the ancestors or the original champions. As for him being a more serious character, I kind of like that. Yunobo and Daruk had similar personalities, both were strong. Both were comedic characters, but also very strong and tough characters. Having one of his ancestors appear, and have a similar personality to that of Darunia, would make him feel like his own new character, and not just blend in having the same personality as the other two. Although, as we can see here, Darunia did have some of his funny moments as well, but overall still had a more serious attitude, which is kind of what I hope happens here. For example, Daruk and Revali basically have exact opposite personalities. One is very nice and friendly with Link, while the other one is a bit more rude and sees Link as more of a rival, or not worthy to be the champion, whereas Daruk is proud to have him alongside him. So just imagining their personalities swapped is what I think might be going on here. So I'm kind of excited to see if this new Goron's personality lines up with more of how Revali's is. As for how Daruk will return in the game, in some interviews when asked about the champions, Aonuma has stated that he loves the characters of the champions and would love to have them return, if he could think of a way to use them. So I've had the feeling that Daruk would return in some way. Whether it's being brought back by the Triforce, like if they made a wish to undo all the damage Ganon has done, or specifically wish to be brought back with others. A second way, he could always return in spirit form, like how the king is the old man on the Great Plateau, or even Dampé's ghost in Ocarina of Time. Ghosts and spirits of important characters have almost always played a role in some Zelda games, and I don't think that would be any different for Breath of the Wild's sequel, especially since the original had so many. Another way, I believe they could return and play a role helping you through certain parts of your quest, almost in a similar way to the younger champions in the first Breath of the Wild, or the new sages in Wind Waker, which actually had two of my favorite scenes, with the way they bring back the ghosts of the dead sages to teach the new sages. And thank you for watching. We have a few new Patreon supporters that I would like to give a thank you to. If you would like your own shout out, then head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive a ton of different rewards while helping us out. Those of you who are just donating a single $1, that really does help more than you would think. Thank you Monica Spath, NORNARB, Shadow to Us, SoberRX, 𝗓𝗏𝗧, Natsu, Rusty Caulfield, Zoe M, Candy, David Guthman, Ashton Wren, BKRS7, Blargnar, Chad Costin, Gus Calvo, Henry, Jesse Birch, Jesse Wood, Jon Snow, Larulian Sheep, Lovable Christie, Mr. Monocled Metroid, SuperNX64, and ZAIN.